Hey guys, welcome back to another edition of Lisa Renee TV. If you have not yet subscribed to the channel, make sure to do so today before you leave. Make sure to thumbs up the video if you like what you see, and to share on all your social media networks that you are on at this time. All right, welcome back. Hello. All right, so let's jump right in. I hope everybody's doing fine and well and good. Me, I'm doing pretty good myself. I got some errands to run today, so I just want to pop in before I run out. Okay, so this topic came to me from another YouTuber that I was watching on Instagram, like maybe a day ago, and it kind of got me to thinking. So, is R&B dead? And that's rhythm and blues. So that's the music genre, rhythm and blues. So is it dead? And also, how does that relate to Black Love also being dead? Okay, so I think there is definitely a strong correlation between, the playing of R&B music and then Black Love. I mean, if we think back to, like years ago, maybe like I'm gonna say beyond 10 years. Like I'll say maybe 10 years ago. I'll say like maybe 20, more so 20 years ago, like 20, maybe 15, 20 years ago, 30, definitely 30 and 40 years ago. Like it was R&B was strong and heavy. It had a heavy presence, on the airwaves and on TV. And, so was Black Love. Black Love, we don't see a lot of it today, but it was just more prevalent, and it had a connection with R&B music. You would hear R&B music, and people, it's sort of R&B music had this sort of it evoked a certain emotion in people, and that the feelings that it put out, it connected with it connected with your inner emotions and with your heart, your inner spirit. And it was all positive. It was just so beautiful and loving. And it kind of put you in sort of a love mood. I mean, there have been babies that have been made off R&B music. There have been wedding celebrations off of R&B music. So, we know that there's definitely a direct correlation, right? So I feel like labels are only signing who moves the algorithms nowadays and who seems most marketable instead of real talent. I feel like it's also like too much of a contest. So we look at shows like we have all these superficial shows like American Idol and The Voice, and we have a lot of shows like, well, I wouldn't say America's Got Talent, but I think they have like different stuff besides music on there. But anyway, the main two musical shows are The Voice and American Idol. So, cool story. I tried out for The Voice when I'm a singer and a songwriter as well. So I did try out for The Voice. It was a few years ago. I think it was back in like 2015, I want to say. So I tried out then, and it was in my hometown of Chicago. I'm still in Chicago. So yeah, it was kind of cool. It was a cool process. It took a few hours. I believe they held it at Navy Pier. And so we had to walk. When I got in, I had to walk all the way to the back. It seemed like I was walking forever, y'all. And so I finally got to where they were holding the auditions, and that's when I got a chance to sit down and kind of relax, go to the bathroom, unwind, get my head space right, do some vocal warm-ups, and, just kind of get ready for my audition. But my audition, it was like it's like there was a group. They broke us into groups of like 10. And so you would go in with your group, and then that you would be the only people in that room. It wasn't like you auditioned in front of like 10,000 people or something like that. No, you have a representative of the show, whoever that person was. I don't know who that guy was, but yeah, he was some kind of rep for the show. And then you have it would be like a group of 10 people, and then you would come up when it was your time to sing, and then you have a seat. Now, the thing was, he didn't tell you, he or she would not tell you how you did. Like, they wouldn't tell you, like, oh, you did great, you did excellent, you did improve here, blah, blah, blah. It was nothing like that. You would just know that you got it if they asked you to stay after all the auditions were done. So, yeah. Was I asked to stay? No, but a guy that was so funny because it was a guy that I went to high school with was there as well in my room auditioning with me, which I found to be so weird. But anyway, he was there and he auditioned. He got asked to stay. I sang Alicia Keys' "If I Ain't Got You," so I sang that song. So yeah. I didn't get asked to stay, but I felt like this. Now, this is my reason why. I could tell he liked my song because he really was into he kept looking at me while I was singing. That's how I knew, that he was into it. And he was connecting with the performance. And then when I left, one of the other guys who sang told me I did really good, and I thanked him and told him he did good as well. But yeah, this is my theory as to why I didn't get called back. Why I didn't get asked to stay. Because it was mostly like, Mayo colored people, quote unquote Mayo colored people there. And like we were the only, colored people, brown sugar colored people there. I think it was me, him, and like I think one other person who was like brown sugar colored. So it wasn't that many, and I think they be one more brown sugar males. Because sometimes it seems like it'd be more brown sugar females that's applying. Like, you get those a dime a dozen, but it comes to brown sugar males, you may not get a whole lot. So that's why I think they asked him to stay as opposed to me, because they had it was a lot of brown sugar females there, but not a whole lot of brown sugar males. So anyway, that's my theory as to why I didn't get asked to stay. But no worries. It still was a great experience for me. It's something I always remember. So, and I might try it again, if I want to. But I think I want to go a different route, with getting in musically, So, but I do post music videos, so y'all, check it out. Let me know. Let me know if you like it, when I post my music videos. But anyway, I feel like the shows now are kind of superficial. It's like, first of all, I don't really trust America to be voting on nothing, because I don't know. I feel like America, it's like, in a way that's empowering to have America vote and tell you who they like and everything like that. But because it's great for us as America to say, we want this person or whatever, But I don't know. In another way, I'm just like, they may not choose the best candidate, And I just feel like the contestants on the show, there's so many other ways to get in to the music world than going on this contest and kind of following all these rules and having to go through all that. You waiting for somebody else's approval to tell you that you are a star. But you're a star. You already know you're a star, So that's my issue with all these superficial shows, because it's all the same, I'm just like, this is crazy, and they don't always pick the best, candidates, because they're not basing it off of like, true talent all the time. So it just kind of depends, so anyway. So yeah, but so now my next point I want to make, so the singer, R&B singer Tank said, it's not our violence that scares them, it's our love. So just let that sit and think about that for a minute. That makes a lot of sense. So love covers a multitude of sin. It's the life force, and it's all that we need to thrive. Now, when we love on each other, we can break through barriers. That's what his quote basically means. It's not necessarily the violence and the bad things and our flaws that scare people. It is our love, because our love holds the key to us getting through life. It holds the key to us surviving and thriving together, breaking through together, and building empires together, is when we love on each other. That's what I mean. If we think back to like 20 years ago, 15, 20 years ago, when we really did love each other, we just genuinely loved the heck out of each other. whether it was a marriage, a relationship, a friendship, or even strangers, we had more love. There was less violence. We didn't have as much violence. We didn't have a big violence problem years ago, because people valued other people's lives. It was just different. The whole vibe was, kind of different. You could feel the world was just in a different space, mentally and emotionally. People didn't, feel like they need, even if they had into an argument with somebody, they didn't feel like I need to take this person out. I need to run to the trunk of my car and grab a weapon out and stab the person or shoot the person down. It wasn't like that. It just wasn't like that. It was a different, it was a whole different type of vibe. So I'm just praying to God that we can, get back to that one day. Cause I think that's when we were at our strongest and at our best. We were trying to have businesses and trying to get homes and, really, really just get out there and do what we had to do, So back in the 2000s, R&B artists wanted rap artists on their records because it happened so much. R&B started to fade out. The true sound of it became watered down. So that was another point that I heard made, and I took note of that, and I thought about it myself. I said, yeah, that is true. We noticed back in the 2000s, y'all remember a lot of R&B records had they had hip hop artists on them. Not that that's a bad thing. I think collaboration is great, but sometimes you have to be careful if you overly indulge in collaboration instead of just letting your sound stand on its own. Sometimes your sound will fade to the background because you want hip hop beats and you want hip hop artists on your R&B track instead of just saying, no, I'm an R&B singer, I'm an R&B artist. I'm just gonna let my R&B shine. I'm just gonna let it come through. And so now what has happened is R&B has taken a back seat. And hip-hop is taking a front seat. Hip-hop is sitting at the forefront of everything. It dominates everything. But hip-hop is kind of like that anyway, where it's kind of rough, aggressive, abrasive, and, very masculine in general, which is why I love, the female hip-hop artists. I always support the female hip-hop artists. It's always refreshing to see their faces and see them come and really step up. And I rap too, so you know what they do, But yeah, I do a little rapping, I do a little bit. I've been doing this stuff since I was, a little girl, so, this is nothing new to me. I'm a singer, I do a little rapping, I'm a songwriter, Now, I don't rap as heavily as I used to, but I can flow, yes, I can definitely flow because I used to write poetry. So I think if you write poetry, yes, you most likely can rap as well, because that's all rap is. It's poetry in motion. It's poetry to a beat, so poetry to rhythm, so that's what it is. But yeah, I can definitely flow a little bit. Yeah, but yeah. So too many people today are also too supportive of or trying to be part of what we call horror culture. Nobody is taking anything seriously, and this is also the cause of all the violence. Music, you have to remember, like I spoke in my last video, I think I mentioned that music has spirits in it that can penetrate your mind and your soul, and so it's the easiest way for them, and we know who them is, to brainwash our children and us by the masses. So yeah, music is something used by certain male colored people to brainwash us brown sugar colored people, and brainwash your children and brainwash you, and get you to turn on each other. That's why we're in a state of just delusion, where we feel like we need to pick up drugs and take them, and we were not concerned about getting educated. We're not concerned about building up our own businesses, and we're into killing and being whores and thoughts and all these fancy little terms. It's just we're overly sexualized, and it's just getting really, really weird. So we have to pull back out of that, because we weren't that type of people at one point in time. That was not who we were, so, and we know we weren't that way. We were a strong, powerful, prideful people, you know. So I think we just have to, you know, definitely get prayerful. And that's another thing too. You have people who really don't pray. They don't have any belief in God. People, we've made a mass exodus from the church. We have run from the church. And the church, I mean, it has its faults. Like, you know, I think that there are churches who are doing a lot for the community. The church I go to does a lot for the community. But I think there are some churches that need to do more within the community, so that you have to come and serve the community. When Jesus was on the earth, he served people. He was all about, what can I do for people? You know, how can I help? I'm here to help. You know, how can I help? You know, so you have to be there for other people. You have to be trying to figure out new and creative ways to, you know, serve the community, let the community know that you are there for them, you know, and then they'll naturally come back to you and come inside the church and things like that. But I think sometimes people think in terms of, how do I increase my membership? But I'm like, what are you doing for the community in general? You know, you were about numbers and trying to increase membership and tithing and offerings and stuff. But I'm like, before you get to that point, you have to put some work and some effort behind it. You know, you have to really start inspiring people again, and just help them get to a place of wholeness, because you have a lot of hurt and broken people out here, and that's why your situation is so bad with violence. And you know, it's just constant violence, back and forth. You know, I know my city has really seen a lot of it lately, you know. So, but there's a reason behind it. You have to find the roots of it all. And really, it's just brokenness, and, you know, not a lack of opportunities. You know, sometimes it's homelessness. You know, just, it can be abuse, you know, abandonment, you know. So you have to find the root behind it, and dig up that root, get all that poison out, and you know, put a little love on it, and I think everything is gonna smooth itself out. So but overall, I want to say we have to do better, and we got to start by being mindful of what we're listening to. And R&B needs to return, definitely. I'll second that notion. And we need to stop supporting the BS. Stop supporting it. Once you stop supporting it, the artists may rethink things and say, well, they're not buying it no more, so I guess it's time to do something different. I think a lot of artists do want to do other things, but the male colored people, a lot of times they be wanting them to do a certain thing for a certain reason, to keep poisoning your community, you know. So you get enough of us behind it, it's like, nah, we're not taking that no more. You know, something will give, something will change. So yeah, it's just, you just have to tap into your inner strength, you know. So all right, well, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I know it was a little bit longer, but, you know, hey, I love talking to you guys. So leave me a comment below. Drop me a comment. Let me know if you like this video, if it resonated with you. And I definitely want to hear y'all comments on this one. So definitely talk to me about, do you think R&B is dead? Do you think it relates to Black love? You know, do you think it's because it's dead, Black love is also dead? Can it be resurrected? You know, we don't know. Can it be resurrected? All right. Well, I will chit chat with you all later. Let me make a quick mention. So I just released my self-help book, Surviving Life, Being the Nice Girl. Yes, it just got released a couple of days ago, so I'm going to drop the link in the more info box below, along with my other book, Long Way to Love. So I will drop everything in the more info box below, and I will see you guys later. Bye.